Will be. Yes, there
There
we
we
are.
We
go.
are now.
Counting down, counting down. I tell you what,
Live
I'm
from New
excited
York.
about. I was live from New York, live from North Carolina.
Oh,
Hallelujah.
that's it. That's it. Live from North Carolina.
Well, we got everything set up for tonight. We've got our guests tucked away, and we've got our uh, format. Victoria, you're going to go first. Are
All
you going
right.
to talk about the book bundle?
I was not, but
Okay,
I can.
okay. Well, it's your week in review, so you don't have to if you don't want to. I'll
I
go.
can talk about it.
I'll go after Victoria and Ruth. Ruth said she'll talk about it.
Yes, I
And
will talk about it.
Ruth, you can lead back to Victoria. Victoria, you've got the first of the bio.
Yes, 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 yes.
I will do Michelle, and then we'll have our little break.
All right, see.
And when we come back, Ruth, you will go
All
in.
right, everybody, it's time to roll the open.
All right, roll them.
You guys have a great show.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Alan. Hey, everybody.
Uh-oh. I just don't stop.
That's an indication it's going to be that kind of program tonight. Right, guys? Right,
Hey,
guys?
uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Good evening, everybody, and good evening to you, Miss Ruth Griffin.
Good evening.
And good evening to you, Miss Victoria Henderson.
Good evening, everybody. Everybody.
Hello.
Good evening. Hello. Hello.
Starting already. Starting already. Hey there, Dana. Good evening to you. Glad to have you with us.
Yes.
Hey, Miss Leah Forty. Glad to have you with us as well.
Yes.
Let's see. Francina. Hey, Francina. Glad to have you with us this evening also. We have we've got an interesting program today. We have an
Yes.
interesting book and we have co-authors, which is going to be a first for us. So I think that's going to be exciting. But we want to be able to start our week like we usually do, and that's with our week in review. And we're going to start with Miss Victoria, Queen Victoria, who's down there trying to look like she doesn't know what's going on. But it is on you, my dear.
I'm like, what happened last week? What happened other than work?
Mhm.
Um,
You still unpacking?
yes, thank you. I am still unpacking. Yeah, yeah. Which is why I was a little late today. I just got carried away with the time just went away from me. But
Mhm.
yes, I am still packing, unpacking, let's say, not packing, but unpacking. Still trying to find a place for everything. It is still a hot mess, but it's my mess. It's getting a little better. The boxes are not stacked up so high. They are coming down. And as you can see, I don't have a fake bookcase behind me right this moment. I actually have books on a real shelf. That is an improvement. That's an improvement. But, it's been an interesting week. Just some personal things going on and working and just trying to get my groove. Stella trying to get a groove back over here. but and that's about it. God is good. He is continuing to show himself strong. The blessings are coming. I also sell paparazzi jewelry, and I did a challenge this week to go live, which is a lie. I go live on Facebook to sell the jewelry, and I pushed myself to meet the challenge of going live 5 times, and I usually only do 2. So I went 5, and 4 of those nights were 4 in a row. When I tell you, I'm just tired. I'm tired of talking, so I might not talk too much tonight.
Yeah, nice try.
Which is the first for me, right? That's the first.
Yeah.
But it was, I say it to say that sometimes it really is a good thing to stretch yourself, to push yourself, to see how far you can stretch.
Mhm.
And I did it. I met the challenge. It was productive. Hey, Linda, good evening. And I'm so proud of myself. I really am proud of myself for being able to do that. And I did it well. And so that was my week, just trying to, press forward in business. I'm asking God to give me direction of how he wants me to handle my business ventures all around.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was that kind of week, spending some time trying to get some refocus on what I'm doing. And God is blessing and he's showing. And I'm just excited.
Oh, awesome.
And you look like you are.
Thank you.
And we are excited for you. Hey there, Angie. Oh, good to have you in the house. Always, always, always. I had a good week,
Good.
and I'm going into an even better week.
You had a good
Getting
weekend
ready.
too, didn't you?
Getting ready to do some exciting things with the train. So you all stay tuned.
All right.
Yeah. We got some exciting things going on, and I'm anxious to be able to share it with everybody.
All right.
But
You guys weren't paying attention. I was doing my Vanna thing.
oh, Ruth,
Come
go
on.
do it again.
All right, one more time, but only because you're looking.
Okay.
All right. That's
So
Andrew's
exciting things about
Get
the
the
train. And you're gonna be glad you did. I tell you that, because we got some great stuff going on with that. I had an opportunity to get away
Good.
weekend, and I had said that that's one thing that I was going to do this year, that I was going to plan some mini getaways, and I have a go bag. It's by the door, so
all
if
right
anybody
now.
wants to invite me anywhere, I'm ready. I can travel. Half bag will travel, so I'll be able to do that. But I will not trust the weather anymore.
Oh, what happened?
Because the last time we were going to the beach, it rained, and it didn't rain when we thought it was, but it did rain. And I've been checking the weather all week, and they had been predicting severe thunderstorms all day Saturday. And I thought, well, I won't pack a lot of beach stuff and things like that, because I'll be in the house, looking at movies and popcorn, and that's okay with me. I'm all right. It was gorgeous.
Oh.
It was gorgeous every
how nice.
single day. I mean, it was so pretty, and the drive down was pretty, and the drive back was pretty, and I shared it with my daughter, and it was just a wonderful weekend. We had a great time, and on Saturday morning, she said, oh my gosh, the wind and everything was awful last night, and I had no clue what she was talking about, because when I went to sleep,
You slept like a baby.
I did. But I thoroughly enjoyed my time away, and I look forward to more of those this year. Just being able to get up and get away for a little bit and relax. So I'm glad about that.
Yeah. I was a little salty that I wasn't there, but it's okay.
Yeah, you got over it too.
I did.
You did. And I'm glad. I get to see you disappointed like over and over and over, because I'm going to be going again. So get ready.
Okay.
Get ready.
Thank you.
How about you, Miss Ruth? What was going on in your world?
See, and this is the tough part every week because my weeks are just, I mean,
You always say
they're
you don't.
almost mundane, but I did have a little accident this week.
Uh-oh.
Let's just say that you should never put a hard-boiled egg in a microwave. Please don't give me that look, okay? I might be like one of 3 people who knows not to do that. I know not to do that now. Let me just put it that way. So,
Well, at least it was a car accident because when you said
oh
accident,
no,
that's
no, no, no,
okay.
no,
Okay, I
no,
was
not to that extent. I have a brand new car. That car's not going to be in an accident ever.
the
But
first thing I was like, what? Not the car.
no, not the car. No, although it might have hurt less because, and then the thing is, I've microwaved eggs before, and it's not the most efficient thing to do.
What did you do
But
to Elmo the egg?
what?
What did you do to Elmo the egg?
Well, that's the thing. It came out of the microwave perfect, and I thought, okay, it was only in there for a few seconds. I bit into it, and it just exploded everywhere, and I ended up burning my mouth. And I'm like, that was not. I'm not
Oh,
doing that again.
Gosh.
oh, are you all right?
So I'm okay now. Everything's healed up. But it was just one of those things where I was like, oh, I'm going to get to work early today. I'm going to do this. I'm going
Oh,
to do that. And
didn't
I was like,
happen.
no, I'm not doing that. I'll get to work when I get to work. My lip
Yeah, you got to
hurts.
clean all that egg up, huh?
My pride hurts. I'm still cleaning up egg.
Oh,
So yeah, it's
Oh, Ruth.
that was like a good majority of the week because after that, my lip was like, oh, so you wanted to do that. So we're just gonna swell up and do things that,
oh.
your body does. It's healed. I'm healed now, but it
I'm
was just one
so
of those
glad you are
things.
healed.
Thank you.
I'm so
Thank you.
sorry.
No, that's okay. Thank you.
I mean,
And it's just to me, it's funny. It's just like, it is what it is. It's a lesson learned, and if you can't learn from those kind of things, then
Yeah.
you probably shouldn't be in the kitchen anyway. So,
Well, could we go back to the mundane week next week? No lip burning. No. Okay.
that might
Okay.
be best.
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We're going back to the mundane things
Andrea,
next week.
she
We're
did
not doing
say
that again.
molded most of the cooking, right?
Absolutely. That is why my husband, when we move, he's going to be the one designing the kitchen and everything because for me, I'm just going in there to eat whatever he cooks. And
You
if
know
it's
what?
not already warm, I'm just going to eat it cold. So it is what it is. And I'm
Yeah.
good with that.
Okay.
After this past week, I'm good with it. So we're going back to Monday next week.
Stay out of there, Ruth. You have so many gifts and talents.
Yeah, the kitchen's not one of them.
No.
And that's okay. I'm good with that now. I realize
Okay.
that. So
Okay.
We're just glad you're all right.
thank
Yes.
you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So yes.
Never would have guessed it, would you? We're not gonna laugh. I'm not gonna laugh because you could have really hurt yourself.
Oh yeah. No, I realized that afterward. That
Yeah.
that could have been like a first-degree burn.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
think it probably was, but it was just one of those things afterward where you realize, that was really stupid.
Wow.
Wow.
Lesson
So-
learned.
Yeah,
Well-
lesson learned, and listen to that little voice inside your head that says, "Hey, you probably shouldn't bite in that." So, because I did have it, and then I did it anyway. So, yeah. So here we're trying to save lives too. So don't
Amen.
microwave eggs.
We're not trying to save lives.
Yes,
We do a lot here at Authors Up, don't we?
we do. We do, including giving away books.
Yay!
Did you like that transition? Yeah, I thought
I
that
do.
was
I
smart.
love it. I love it.
So yes. So we are giving away a book bundle, 5 books from our wonderful authors, in a mug. So yes. And I'll have to say I was thinking about it because I've been trying to read more this year and just
Mhm.
more than what I'm required to do for this show, more than what I'm required to do for my publishing company,
Mhm.
more than even for like book club. I want to read books that I want to read that other people may not necessarily want to read. So
Right.
and I've been able to do that more, and I want to help we want to help other people read more too. So
Yes.
we are happy to give away books,
Mhm.
give away the mugs, so that every time you have your little tea or your coffee, you think about us.
One of the mugs near you.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Lovely. So you don't mind
Yes.
Thank
Oh, that's
you.
nice.
Yes.
Yes. So we'll be giving that away April 1st, or actually the first Sunday in April.
Right.
That'll be our show. So please comment. Let us know that you're there, and we'll put you in the hat, and maybe you'll win.
And see what
That's
happens.
it. That's it.
Mhm.
See what happens. Okay, well, now it's time for us to tell you a little bit about our guests for
Are
tonight.
we ready?
Yes. Victoria, we're going to let you start and tell us a little bit about one of our authors for our books tonight.
All right, I'll be telling you about Joy Vander Tuin. After a grand mal seizure in 1996, Joy needed connection with the outside world during her recovery. Raising 12 young children at the time and not being able to drive for a year, depression started to set in. She knew she had to do something. One day, she found a stray, injured bunny and called an animal rehabber. She was ultimately licensed by the state of Texas and lovingly rehabbed both wild and domestic abandoned and injured animals. In earlier years, Joy and her husband Rod found their life's mission in adopting harder to place children. With 3 biological sons, they adopted 10 abandoned and abused babies and toddlers of various ethnic backgrounds. Joy is a Christian who understands what it means to depend on God through every circumstance.
And I'm going to tell you a little bit about Michelle Hill. Michelle Hill is your legacy builder at Winning Proof. She's a book and publishing consultant for sports and business professionals. Michelle knows something about overcoming obstacles and gaining yardage during life's fouls and fumbles through tenacity, determination, and courage. Michelle understands the importance of seizing winning opportunities during major life transitions. She helps her clients navigate through the maze of writing and publishing so they can increase visibility, establish expert status, and create a strong legacy. Michelle's clients include pro athletes, sports agents, coaches, and performance trainers. Michelle has been a born again Christian for 45 plus years, and her relationship with Christ permeates everything in her life. And Ruth, I think you had something about something that one of the Amazon reviewers had mentioned.
Absolutely. An Amazon reviewer mentioned that the book was beautifully illustrated. We don't get to know much about the illustrator, but here's a little bit about illustrator Kimberly Merritt. She has been a pastor's wife for over 20 years. While serving beside her husband and homeschooling her 4 children, she has been blessed to have illustrated over 60 children's books for authors all over the world.
60.
Kim
Wow.
loves to paint, play guitar, and write about her walk with the Lord. After the brief break, I invite you to help us welcome our 2 authors for the evening, Joy Vander Tuin and Michelle Hill.
Well done, Ruth.
Thank you. We'll be right back. All right. Welcome, Joy and Michelle.
Woo!
Awesome. So as Andrea said, this is our first time we've had co-authors, and we are just excited to have you on the show to share about your book.
Yes.
It's exciting to be here.
Awesome.
Yes. Thank you very much for having us.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. So usually I start off and I will I will direct the question at either one of you. So whoever wants to answer, go ahead and jump in. But as the picture showed, this is a children's book. It was adorably done, by the way. Love the
Yes.
illustrations. Love the fat, fluffy, wet sheep. That was just too cute. Let's start off by telling us what the book is about.
Go ahead, Joy.
Okay, so actually Giselle was a real sheep and it's based on true events. So what happened with our sheep, Giselle, is that she went outside and it was raining. She got filled up with water. And when she came back in the barn, she lay down and she was not able to get up. So we called a vet and he said, there's nothing wrong with her. You just need to get this fleece off of her because she's too big and she's too heavy if she's not going to make it. So we sat out in the barn literally for hours and hours and hours into the night, cutting with scissors the fleece off of her because we couldn't find anybody to share her at that time. So that's where the story came from, because I thought this would be the best kids book because the kids came out to the barn to help take care of Giselle while we were trying to cut her. And so what Michelle and I did was we took, rather than kids, we used animals to go and save Giselle from the creek and get the water out of her. And it's to help show, hopefully kids will be able to relate that you could be very different. Michelle and I are very different, even though we're cousins and we grew up in an Italian family and we were together all the time. We're still very, very different, but yet we're able to write this book and, we kind of go back and forth. So hopefully kids will get out of it through using creatures of the forest, that it doesn't matter. You can come together as one and help each other out in circumstances.
Awesome. Okay, so you gave us a great segue there. So it was just your idea, I believe. So how did we get from your idea to where, to the book that we have today? And, you guys are the co-authors. So tell us about how that process came about.
Okay, well,
Go ahead, Joy.
okay, well, I had the idea for like 2 years. And I even drew like a little picture in the parking lot waiting for my kids and stuff. And I almost threw it away a couple of times. And I thought, there's something with this. And I put it and tucked it away in my Bible. And Michelle had made a comment of that she'd like to expand, do something a little different. And it just kind of popped in my head. I said, hey, you want to write a book? Because I can't do the writing part, but she's absolutely can. I had the story part, so we just took my story and her talent and combined them together.
And it was really interesting too, because I had taken an Institute of Children's Literature course in writing for children in the early 2000s somewhere. And I had tucked the notebook away and just basically forgot about it. But when Joy presented this idea, I dusted it off. I thought, okay, this has to have some structure. It has to have some, children's books have rules too. And you have to be so careful. It's almost harder to write a children's book than an adult book because every single word has to count. So we had some hysterical laughing times figuring out, talking through ideas, and we were just howling with laughter talking about the different story ideas.
Awesome. Now you're also a publisher. Were you the publisher on this book?
No, I wasn't a publisher. I used my LLC as Winning Champion Press, but just for Joy and I's books. So we use Christian Editing and Publishing, Christian Editing Services, I believe it was, CED. So them to edit, we use them to upload, and Kimberly, the illustrator, also works through them, although we basically worked with her individually. And another one of their teammates formatted the cover, formatted all the interior layout.
So how did you find that process of the publishing, working with the illustrator and all of that? How did you find that process?
There's a lot of moving pieces, as you all know, from creating a book. It just doesn't appear magically. So the process was just finding the pieces. And I had already had these pieces in place because of other potential clients inquiring about it. And so that's where I found Kimberly. That's where I had all these other people. And they just got put in a file because the clients never went forward. So when Joy presented her idea, it was like, okay, I'll go back to what these people seem really nice. They were wonderful to work with. We are getting ready to start a second book, and we will use the same team.
Awesome.
But it was challenging. It's not for the faint-hearted.
No.
What pieces to put together?
No, I always look cross-eyed at people who say, "Oh, it's easy to be an author." Okay. No, not quite. So you guys are getting ready to do a second book. Is it like a sequel? Is it a series? Are you going to stay with the children's book genre?
It will be more of a series of
Okay.
Giselle. And Giselle, she's either teaching a lesson or there'll be a lesson taught through the book somehow.
Awesome.
And that's kind of what we want to be able to make a difference somehow. And we feel that this could make a really big difference for children to be able to do this and to get lessons out of different things that Giselle does. And it's all done in a very silly, funny way that hopefully will really grasp children's attention and stuff.
Well, awesome. Awesome. So I'm going to hand you over, I think, to Andrea. But I think we need to talk about co-authoring.
Well, you can't do that and then hand.
I can, because I went first. That's the thing. See, and now you can ask all the questions that Victoria was going to ask, and she'll just say, "Get the book." So
Go for
that's
it.
the way it works.
Go for it. Y'all continue. Keep going. I'm good.
Ladies, I did want to talk to you about co-authoring and what that was like for you in writing this book. And we did something here at Authors Up called My Time Story Time. And we had a theme for the story, and we had we put out 3 or 4 character profiles. And we ask our listeners to write a story around that character and the event. And then we weaved it together to come out with a dramatic reading that we actually did on the air. How did you all manage to co-author this book? Did one of you take one part? Did you start somewhere else and then say, well, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about that? How did that process work for you two?
Well,
go ahead.
kind of like this. We did there. I knew nothing, like absolutely, positively zero. So Michelle had to teach me along the way. And there was a lot of like, who's that? What do they do? Back and forth. But we laughed so hard and it was so much fun that when it was over, when we were done and we actually had the book, it was like, I said, this is kind of sad. Like, we're going to have to do another one because this was so fun. And we went back and forth, and we're doing that with the second one right now, back and forth and ideas. And I would come up with something literally in the bathtub, and I would text her real fast and go, what do you think of this? And she'll go, oh, I love that. And then she would say something else like Giselle's blue eyes. That was Michelle's idea. And I'm like, oh, sheep don't have blue eyes, And then I'm like, no. Let's go with that. So we did a lot of that. It was all done through Marco Polo and the whole book. was done that way.
Yeah, we did. And at the beginning, we went on freeconferencecall.com because I had to get Joy's ideas recorded so I could really refer to them a lot. So we did that. And then I had the basic storyline because I wasn't there. She experienced Giselle. And the way we are different, I am so not an animal person. And Joy is all things animal. So that was, we're a lot alike growing up in the same kind of family structure, but we're way different. So I recorded her ideas and we just bounced them off of each other. And that's how the co-authoring, I would have an idea, she would have an idea, and we just met in the middle. I created a rough draft and then we refined it as we went.
Mm-hmm. Now, with your little critters, your little characters that helped Giselle along the way, Michelle, I want to ask if you had a favorite, and Joy, I want to ask if you had a favorite.
A favorite of the critters?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm not a fan of any crawling things, so I would say.
I second that.
And Joy knows this. So I would say the favorite of the critters would be the dog, Gracie.
Yes.
Because that's not really a critter, but it's bigger and it doesn't creep.
Mhm.
How about you, Joy?
Well, for me, it's really hard to pinpoint it because I like all of them. But in the book, I love the frogs. His technique of getting the water out of Giselle, I think, is quite a technique. And I can't say that's the only one. I love the fireflies. I kept on saying to Michelle, got to put the fireflies, and they had to be like just right. So Kimberly was just a picture. And between the two of us are like, no, that's not quite right. So I living in Texas. Well, I guess y'all have fireflies too, right? North Carolina, right? Okay, so we have a pond out in front, so we get a lot of fireflies. So the fireflies are like really important, but I really like the frogs' technique of getting the water out.
How long did it take you to write? To get it to from beginning to end, from when you first said, you know what, this is a story. I think this would be a great story, and let's do this thing. From the moment you decided that you were going to do it until you got it to where it was on the shelves and ready for sale. Well, how long was that process?
Was it about 7 months, 8 months?
Yeah, I was going to say about 8 months. Yeah.
About 8 months.
I would say that. Yeah, the illustrations took the longest because that was a back and forth. Tweak this, the color of the snakes,
Right.
Green and purple and the whole thing. So it was a lot of back and forth. I think that was the longest.
Right.
And it really is nicely illustrated.
Oh, you did a beautiful job.
Yeah.
She did an incredible job.
Yeah. And where did you find her? Where did you say you found her? Or did you say
Christian Editing Services.
she was part of Christian Editing.
And she was wondering, as a pastor's wife, she was wondering, Lord, where is my next project going to come from? And then we showed up.
Wow.
So it
worked
all the way around.
An answer. And I heard you say something about next book, next project. Oh, you put it out there. Tell us a little bit.
Go ahead, Joy, because it's just, again, her idea, her story idea, which I will put to words, but go.
Yes, I come up with these like crazy ideas, and then that's when I come up with the base of it, and then I bounce them off of Michelle, and we go back and forth. So I was sitting on the floor one Sunday, and I was talking to her, and we were laughing so hard. So yeah, there's another one in the making, and can't give it away too much, but it's a winter one. And Giselle's friends, I think Giselle's friends more learned a lesson, don't you think, Michelle? Like they learned a lesson through Giselle. So we got it going and got it started there, and I think it's going to be pretty funny. And I think the illustrations, as wonderful as Kimberly can take what's in our head and put it on page, the illustrations are going to be just as wonderful.
Oh,
Awesome.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Beautiful.
Will it be for the same age range? I think this one was 3 to 5. Will it be targeted for 3 to 5 year olds as well?
It might stretch a little bit outside of that, maybe from a 2-year-old could sit, a parent could sit and read it to a 2-year-old all the way up to, what do you think, Joy? 7-ish?
7, 8,
Mhm.
even. I mean, I've had kids come here. I had one little boy come here because he wanted to see where Giselle lived. So I took him down in the barn and we pulled hay out together and he was giving me big hugs. I didn't know who he was, but he was giving me big hugs and he was like so excited.
How
And
sweet.
yeah, he is so sweet. And he was probably about 7, I think. So I think it just depends on the kids. And then my grandkids, 2 years old, and she'll sit and listen to the whole thing. So
Oh,
I think
wow.
it just kind of depends on the child. And I've had adults. I had a 70-year-old man say, "You got the age on this wrong," because I really enjoyed this.
Exactly.
I was thinking
Whoever-
about that. Yeah. Yeah. There's something anybody reading it can learn from it.
Mhm.
I
Can
think
learn
so.
from it. And I
Mhm.
think that's part of the beauty of the book. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I had a good time reading it, and I think I like Gracie too. I like Gracie the dog. she, I'm not too fond of creepy crawly critters either, so Gracie really worked for me. But it really was and just beautifully illustrated and just a great story of coming together to overcome obstacles. And that's the kind of story that I don't care how old you are, you can benefit from the lessons learned
Absolutely.
from
Exactly.
Giselle and her
Exactly.
friends.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah. Victoria, what do you have for us tonight? I know you have 3 words, but other than those
Yes, well, of course,
words,
my tagline is "Get the book" because it's a beautiful book. I echo my co-host in saying how beautifully illustrated it is. It is a story for all ages. I absolutely love the teamwork, how all the creepy critters and the flying ones and everybody get the book exactly. Everybody came together and just helped. Get every Giselle together. I loved it. I just loved the story. And I think that anyone who reads the book picks it up. First of all, it is really a beautiful book. It's just a
Mhm.
beautiful kids book. I liked how you explained how the illustrator took your vision and made it reality. And I get excited about stuff like that because that's a victory story. And it is a victory story of helping their friend get to the goal. So I wanted to know about you guys' relationship before the show. You guys told us a little bit. Would you please tell our listeners what you guys' relationship is?
Do you want to go first, Joy, or do you want me to? Doesn't matter.
You could go ahead.
Well, you can fill in a lot of the gaps. But what we were saying before the show is that we grew up together. Joy, we're both born in LA, Inglewood. I don't know if Joy, were you born in Inglewood, Joy?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So we're both born in Inglewood. My family kind of migrated to Orange County, which was a brand new territory at the time. And so, but we would spend a lot of weekends together at each other's houses and just were very close growing up. And then we had this, 30-year gap that we just lost touch with each
Wow.
other. And then all of a sudden I'm not sure if it was Rod through LinkedIn or you through Ancestry.com that we
Ancestry.
connected, and now we're all grown up, as they say, and reconnecting with that closeness that we experienced as children. So
How
Joy,
beautiful.
Yeah.
How beautiful.
It was very exciting because I did the ancestry because I wanted to find out if I was full Italian because I was told my entire life, you're full Italian, you're full Italian. So I wanted to find out. Well, I am. But
Okay.
through that, I also found out I found Michelle, but it said, I can't remember how it was written, but it didn't say it was like Michelle that I knew. And so I'm thinking, it's got to be her. It's got to. And so I contacted her, and I think it took a couple contacts. And then we talked on the phone. I bet we talked 5 hours because we spent lots and lots of time at our grandparents' house together. Sometimes a week and a half together. And we just had the best time. We have always had a very, very special connection. We were very different as children, but we still had a very close connection to each other. And once that connection's there, it just does not leave. Like, it's still there after all those years. And we were able to find each other again and reconnect and then be able to do something so awesome like this together. It was just God's blessing upon us. It was just wonderful.
Yes, and if I can add a little short, funny story to that, I had as a child a plastic horse, those plastic horses that you just had, and Joy always wanted that horse, and I would not let her have that horse. And I'm not even an animal person. For some reason, that horse, I just had to have that horse. Well, who has the horse now, Joy? Who got the horse? I don't know how she got it.
I don't know how I got it either. And it's so old that the plastic on it just cracks. And I have the tails glued and the arms, or the leg of it's glued to hold it up and everything. But I'd say to her, she came and she visited me after we connected, and it was up in my kitchen, way up on the top part. I go, see that horse up there? That's your horse. And she goes, it is. I go, uh-huh. And I said, remember how it sat in your closet? You just wouldn't let me have it, would you? Just sat there, and she just shut the closet door like, nope, you ain't getting it.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, that's wonderful. You know, it makes me know that I'm not the only one who holds on to everything. I won't tell you what I found out when I moved. All the stuff I found, and people like, you still have that from when we were back at elementary school. Oh, I have it. That's wonderful. Well, I know we're running out of time. Please tell our listeners how they could get in touch with you if they would like to, and of course, how they could find the book.
Michelle, I'm going to give that to you.
Okay. See, we tag team. That's what we do.
I love it.
Don't forget Giselle.
So you can find the book on Amazon, and don't forget the comma. Giselle Silly, Soggy Day. Okay. So it's just Giselle Silly Soggy Day. You can find it on Amazon, and we have a lady that's local to Joy that does these beautiful little sheep, and they have blue eyes. So it's if somebody sends her, and you can put this, I'll send it to you. You can put it in the show notes.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if somebody sends her confirmation that they have bought a book, then she'll give them a $5 discount. They're normally $20, but she'll sell them for $15. So you can see the blue eyes.
Cute.
Super cute.
It is so cute.
Oh, too cute.
So you can, in the back of the book, there's Joy's email, there's my email, and then you can find the book on Amazon. And,
Awesome.
And I think, did I miss anything?
I think so.
Well, we are definitely going to be sure that we're going to go on Amazon and review your book for you because we absolutely enjoyed it, and we want to add our 3 cents in and tell the world how much we loved it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was a delight to read the book, and it was a delight to meet both of you.
Yes.
It's a special read, guys, but you two have a very special relationship, and we are grateful that you allowed us to share it and share it with our listeners. It was great fun meeting you, and great fun finding all about Giselle and knowing that there's a book out there that teaches great lessons about teamwork and needing one another and how we can all work together. Wonderful read. So Alan put up, get the stuffed critter.
It's so cute.
Thank you, ladies.
Alan. Does anybody have any closing comments? Joy and Michelle, do either of you have a closing comment perhaps for a first-time author or somebody that may be, thinking about writing a book? Do either of you have any closing comments for that?
Well, yeah, I'm sure we both do.
Well, I think if you have an idea, don't think that it can't turn into something, because that's me.
Mhm.
It can. You just have to have the right connection, which I did. And with the right connections, it happens and it works. And I mean, this was something that I think for a long, long time, I've always loved children's books, but to think that I'm an author of one was just like, I just, to this day, I pick it up and look at it and I still can't believe we did this.
Mhm.
So don't give up on your dream and go for it and get your connections. Michelle is an awesome connector, and you could find her and she could connect you to whoever you need to be connected to. So go for that dream and make it come to life.
Awesome. Awesome. What about you, Michelle?
Yeah, I would just piggyback on that and just say it's all about connection and just making the right connections and making sure that you kind of vet the connections, because not every connection is a good connection.
Mhm.
Make sure that they're a connection that's going to uplift you and elevate you, not drag you through the mud connection, which some we all have experienced will do, but we don't have time for those.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm. Good advice. Good advice. Good advice. Ruth or Victoria, either of you have anything to add before we close?
I'm just happy. I'm just happy. When you have divine connections, you see the smiles. My face hurts from smiling so much. And thank you so much for being with us. It just was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, pleasure for us too.
Ruth, anything?
Just what I always iterate. We've actually had a few folks email us, and continue emailing us. Let us know thoughts, comments. If you want to be on the show, send us an email, authorsup@gmail.com.
All right. All right. Joy and Michelle, if you would hang out back there in our little waiting area for just a few minutes as we close everything out tonight. Listeners, you are absolutely the best. We love it when you come on, and I can't wait to see who is going to win the book bundle and get the mug. We've got one more week to go. So keep listening, and keep putting in those comments. Thank you all for being with us tonight, and I hope that you will come back next week. You can find us here every Sunday night at 7 p.m., and we love to have a good time, and we love it when you join us and have some fun with us on Sunday evening. You could be doing a whole lot of things, but we're glad that you stopped by Authors Up. Never know what's going to happen. Queen Victoria over there is subject to do anything.
Yes, darling.
Straight every week, and she's most of the time successful. But come back and join us next week, 7 p.m. right here on Authors Up. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Good night.
Good night.